Hey, it's Jordan. There are a lot of things I don't talk about on this channel simply because I know the platform I'm on will censor me if I start exposing and going into details on the matrix that controls this reality. And while it's collapsing, when we awaken to what actually pulls the strings and how many lies we were told as children, we can naturally get depressed, angry, upset, and want to burn the world down. I know I've felt that way for a long time. And ultimately, the only answer is you need to become the solution to the problems in the world. And what I've found has helped me the most is to dive into spirituality, dive into learning who I actually am, what I am. And in knowing that, I can affect change positively. So, what am I saying when talking about awakening to the matrix? Well, like I said, to start, all of the history and culture I was taught in school turns out to be completely false. It is an absolute fabrication of reality. When you dive into the mud floods, Tartaria, all the different ancient cultures that used to inhabit this land, to think that we were the first culture to come to America and it was just this clean slate is absolutely ridiculous. If you notice, all of the major cities in this country, in America, have burned. In the early 1900s, some type of fire wiped out giant areas of cities that were already built up. They look like ancient Greece, look like ancient Rome, it look like look like old Europe. All these structures and giant marble buildings. And there were world's fairs where they claimed to build these absolutely magnificent areas and buildings and structures for a couple weeks, and then they tear it all down, which seems absolutely insane. I remember the first time I went to Machu Picchu in Peru, and when I saw the site of Machu Picchu, I had to sit down for 10 minutes and process how everything I was taught was a lie, how everything that I thought was reality was complete bullshit. The way these buildings were structured and these giant megalithic rocks and cutting off the top of a mountain to build these perfect structures that are earthquake proof, that you can't fit a piece of paper between, that are all aligned to the sun and the moon, and then to see it degrade and degrade and degrade as people imitated the original, what they call in Peru the ancient ones, who communicated with ropes, which is just blows my mind thinking about that. So the ancient ones built this site all around the world, these sites really, and there's evidence of spacecraft, air UFO craft landing and taking off, and there's alien graffiti that you can only see from the sky. Just blew my mind. Everything I thought I knew about the history of the world, that's when I shifted. That's when it began to change for me. And so history is a lie, and then to wake up to what we're living in currently, which is ultimately a giant Ponzi scheme with people gaslighting you into trying to hypnotize you into their programming. Like, money is just a false and empty thing. There's nothing to back it up, and it's printed out of thin air, and now it's digitally created, and yet we need it to survive. I have to pay my rent, I have to buy food. I guess I could go live off-grid, but that isn't becoming the solution to the problem. If everybody that is awake just goes and moves off-grid, then the problem isn't going to be solved in any way. All the people that are awake and aware will just disappear, and that won't help the situation. To further seeing that our food supply is being poisoned, that our air is being poisoned, our weather is being manipulated, our water is full of pesticides and fertilizers, it just breaks my heart that I can't go swim in the rivers and lakes that I live near right now. I'm in Illinois, and 99% of the water is completely undrinkable. I feel all the pesticides and the poison in the water, and it's just, there's only a few spots left really in this world with fresh, clean water, and you have to go to the mountains typically to find it. It's crazy. And so to see all these things that are meant to control and manipulate, and then the fake solution, which is politics, which is about as real as WWE. It's a complete theater act. All of it is nonsense. It is the entertainment division of the military-industrial complex, as Frank Zappa said that. So all of these people just watching propaganda on the news channels from CNN, Fox, whatever mainstream news organization is just state-sponsored propaganda. And you can just see it when you are awake and you begin to get sensitive to different energy, and you can see the manipulation. It's wild. It can be depressing and overwhelming. And so I say all that to say that you are the solution. When we are surrounded by the darkness, you have the ability to be the light. When I was doing a breathwork session one time, I connected to my inner child. And this would be my recommendation to you. If you want to become the light, go back to yourself when you were 3, 4, 5 years old, just a little kid before all the programming and all the manipulation began to take hold on your psyche. When you were just this pure being, go back, and I can see young Jordo now. He is just a light unto himself. When I saw myself in this breathwork session, I actually saw 3 energy centers. My third eye, my heart, and my gut were all lit up, and my heart was the brightest. And I could feel that I came into this earth to be the light. No matter how dark it got, no matter all the lies and propaganda, manipulation and poisoning and all the things that were around me, if I could become the light, which I am naturally, if I just simply tap into that younger self, that energy of who I was in my pure essence, when I tap into that, I am the light, and I can shine that light wherever I go. So it doesn't matter, like I said, all the darkness that surrounds us. all that is crumbling. All of the systems and structures and hierarchy, it's all crumbling. I don't know if you're aware of this. You can look around, especially in America, all of our situation, all of our culture, it's falling apart. Like all the major cities, there's just more and more homeless people, and it just, prices are getting crazier and crazier, and it's just so much to take in when you try and wrap your head around it. But when you switch and you go within and you find your own inner light and you offer that to other people, then you start attracting each other, and that's how you find your community. That's how you find other people that are on the same frequency as you, and you can come together to work on not only surviving but thriving when we have different groups and we can work together. And that's what it's going to take as this world gets crazier and crazier, and they try and hold on to the control that they have. We're going to see a split. There's going to be a group that, doesn't matter what the situation in the world is, your internal frequency, you operate on a different wavelength. Like I operate in the quantum magical realms. I don't worry about what the 3D is doing. I respect it and honor it, but I don't operate by those rules. I'm in a quantum realm. And so by doing that, it doesn't matter, like I said, I'm the light. I can offer my light to any situation, anywhere I go, and I will find other lights. But if you're not operating the light, and if you're holding on to this fear and you're just in survival mode, you're going to find that. And we're going to see a split between the two groups. And it is what it is. So the practical solution to waking up to the matrix is to be the solution, be the light, and offer that to the world. And that's what makes a thrilling novel. That is the hero's journey. That is soul initiation. I guess I just had to get that off my chest. Maybe that was more for me than you. But if you're still here, appreciate you. I love you. Thanks for sticking around. See you in the next video. Ciao.